Ow.
Excuse me. Jeez Louise. All right. Hi, everyone. I am Jaxler. This is Spongebob's Truth or Square. Y'all have probably never heard of this game. That is totally fine. No experience necessary to enjoy this experience we're all about to go through collectively. I am joined by Cube King here to my right. He's going to be helping me out with the commentary here a bit. But yeah, I think we're ready to go. So are you ready on time?
Ready?
All right. We'll start on go. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so this is Truth or Square. This is a platformer game released by Heavy Iron Studios in 2009. They shipped this out to the Wii and Xbox 360. We're going to be performing the run on the Xbox 360 today. In this category, it's going to save us about 3.5 minutes over the course of the run over Wii to just loading times alone. I think this one saves like, what, 15 to 20 seconds alone because this one is a little extra long, but it really does add up. So this first level here, jellyfishing, I'm going to be looking for these robots up ahead to line up in pairs, and it's a little bit random whether or not they do. It looks like I can set up for one right here. Okay. He was rude. Yeah. So the robots in this stage can wander a little bit before you load in the level, and that can cause them to be in a whole bunch of different positions. So you kind of have to learn a bunch of different ways they can appear and try to line up something if you can, but it only costs you like a couple seconds if you can't get a pair in there. That's the first fight there. This next fight is much less chaotic. So a lot of the robots you can manipulate in this game by sort of positioning Spongebob so they follow him, and you can sort of position them to the right spot. So I'm going to stand right there, and these Dumbos should line up in the perfect double for me.
Yeah. Not to insult the robots, but they did just line up to die.
These guys in the back can wander a little bit as well. Okay, they were nice. So good robots so far. I'm going to take a small little shortcut up this boardwalk to the cliff, and oh man, he's far back. Okay. All right, we're good. So I'm going to set up for a trick here called Tiki Jump. I'm normally supposed to hit this button and do some really... The first time, it can shoot you off in a couple different directions. And slamming there resets your vertical and horizontal momentum. So we just do that as a safety strat to avoid getting stuck under the ledge. You're also going to see me move along with the current, if you will, of these gears. We'll explain a little bit more when we get to the fry cook level, but Heavy Iron programmed rotational physics rather strangely, which it leads to some weird momentum, and we can gain speed by going along the right side of those. So we've got the barrel jumps coming up here. We're going to use these barrels as platforms that can be moved around in order to skip pretty large sections of platforming here. So I'm going to knock this guy down on his side. This plank is going to help me out as an incline, and we're... Oh, gosh darn it. All right. Had to mess up something. Okay, there we go. Good recovery. Yeah. So that's the easy one. This one's much trickier. We actually have to get the barrels standing upright, which doesn't sound that hard, but barrels have really wonky physics in this game, so we'll see how that goes.
If you notice him slamming the wall, that's an animation cancel, which...
Yeah, I missed it there, unfortunately, but that's not a big deal. All right, so let's get this guy over here. All right, I'm going to focus real quick. Okay, I should be able to make this work. Nice. Okay.
There we go.
There we go. First try. Whew. That's a really scary jump. You're just surrounded by invisible wall there. So we're doing a strat here. You normally can't jump on top of this slide, but if you take the railing, it allows you to skip down to a lower portion and save around 10 seconds or so. So this fight has a lot going on under the hood that neither of us can really explain in the 30 seconds that it takes. The basic premise is that the game prioritizes spawning 3 of the blue robots over sort of the miscellaneous 2 green guys. So you're going to see me sort of prioritizing those that row of 3 whenever possible. Ideally, if we do this fight correctly, we should only need this last power-up and then should cleanly finish the fight. But every little different way that you hit the robots in this fight will impact the pattern that you get. So, yeah, game decided to give me the hands today. Not a big deal.
We always called this section the Tetris of sponge running.
Yeah. Section is rather evil, but we're at the end here. Normally this level was pretty reset heavy. in RTA attempts of this game, just because it's the barrel jumps are so brutal to get quickly. That was pretty good, other than that last fight just being a plain old jerk to me. It's not random, but like I said, every little thing you do in that fight has a significant impact on the way the robots spawn in. So there wasn't too much there was some I could do about it, but not really. Sometimes you just get the hands. But we're going to be moving into Kelp Forest. This is also another reset heavy level in the run. Luckily for this game, all the reset heavy levels are right at the beginning. We're going to be doing a strat at the beginning of this level that was actually discovered rather recently called Hammer Clip to get us out of bounds here. So I'm going to need some silent time for that.
Yeah.
So
and
just
as important things happen, I'll explain a bit.
Yeah. Okay, this looks good. Yes.
Nice. So when we see the camera move, we know that he's out of bounds.
Yeah, so the way that works is that the hammer, robot's hammer actually has two distinct hitboxes. There's the one that damages Spongebob or registers the hit, and then there's another collider that actually also additionally pushes Spongebob. So by setting the robots up there in a specific way, I can get Spongebob to be hit by both hitboxes at the same time, and usually that's enough to clip you through acute angles. So what we're doing now is navigating out of bounds to another part of the level. And there's an invisible checkpoint trigger over here where if I slam the wall, it'll extend his hitbox inside the tunnel and lets us skip back in bounds.
Yeah,
and that saves about 30 seconds.
That's the first death warp of the run.
Yeah, that was pretty solid. So right now, we're going to be grabbing this buff power up here. We'll explain what this does in a moment, but we're going to be setting up for a trick called a spin boost. Keep if you want to explain a little bit of what that is.
Sure. All right, so watch this. That is a spin boost. Just getting a ton of height from spinning off those spinner robots.
Yeah. The game doesn't really expect you to be that close to them while you're doing that. So if you jump while that happens, the game doesn't cap your vertical momentum correctly. You'll see us use that a lot throughout the run here. But we've got this fancy power-up here, which you saw in the first level as well. This is Sponge Buff. It lets us deal double damage to all enemies, as well as increases the distance that our horizontal spin takes us. So that has the added benefit of, well, not only are we going to just rip through all the enemies here, but it allows us to access the game's super sick movement, which is called spin hopping. So the way that they program the buffed spin is that it gives you a speed boost instead of lengthening the time you're in the air. So if I do the shortest jump possible and then immediately spin, I can chain these spin hops, if you will, to abuse the speed boost from the spin and save time throughout. But right here, I'm going to stand in this spot to continually despawn that hammer bot. And then we're going to use this guy. Okay, careful. Please attack me. Thank you. And then it's going to let us spin boost up to here. That's a puzzle you're normally supposed to break all of these porta potties up here to keep robots from spawning. But you can just spin boost up to the end of the puzzle. Like I said, I don't really care about what the game intends for me to do here.
And that was just another animation cancel.
Yeah, slamming against the fence there in order just to save frames. I'm going to go for a 1-second time saver here because it's cool. Let's see if we get it. Probably not. Oh, I was almost had it. I wasn't getting it in practice either. That's fine. You can hop the gate there. So normally you're supposed to grab that power up to eat through these flowers, but their hitboxes are so terrible that I can just jump between them and not take damage. So I'm going to set up for another spin boost here. This skips having to go find a hidden button somewhere, like up. I don't even. Yeah, okay, I remember where it is. It's not been that long. But we're going into the mini boss here, and we have our buff power up here, which allows us to 2-cycle it. Normally, as soon as you take damage, you lose this power up. So a lot of what makes this tricky is making sure that you don't take damage, because you won't have access to faster enemy kills, as well as the spin hop movement. So we're luring the reincarnation of John Lennon into the wall there to stop his spinning attack as soon as possible, and he's going to go down super quick as a result. Just the Beatles.
Just the Beatles.
So I'm going to stand right where the end level trigger for the level is. It spawns in what's called a happiness object. in a treasure chest, and looks like I got
Wow.
it. So the treasure chest pushes me up into the object, which allows me to finish the level while I don't have control over SpongeBob. It saves about 5 seconds or so. All right, that was pretty solid. I think I dropped like 1 spin boost. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, so we're coming into the first mini boss fight, but I'll just explain real quick. You've probably seen this loading screen trivia. I encourage you all to play along if you're in the crowd or at home in chat if you want to play along with this goofy loading screen trivia. But it's actually important that I press A to reveal the trivia early, so I'm sorry I can't give you all the time you need to think through your answers here. But if I don't, the loading screen will hang for an extra 5 seconds, so it's really important that I press the A button here.
I still get messed up by this trivia.
Some of them are so easy. Like, some of them is like, what's the color of SpongeBob's pants as he's literally on screen? Yeah. Others are so obscure that you have no clue what they're even talking about after they give you the answer. So this is RoboPat. So it's really important in this level as well to make sure we maintain the buff power up to the end of the fight. Luring him from left to right there just to give myself enough space so I can close in on him. And then he's going to spawn in a bunch of robots here. I'm going to stand right where one of the first spinner robots is so I can nail him out of midair. And then just spin hops here. Trying to get there fast enough, because if I get there too slow, the spinner robots will start attacking, and then you'll just clank off of them, and then you have to stop for a second to damage them.
That's always frustrating when that happens.
So same kind of deal in this phase. They put ice on the floor, which is some real riveting gameplay right here. So I'm going to space a little ways out. Sometimes RoboPat's a little bit of a pansy, and he'll take a hit before actually registering any damage for whatever reason. We don't know why. This game is just excellently programmed in every conceivable way. So we back up a little bit to prevent an accidental mishit. I just realized that all the police cars in the background are police car number 39.
Oh my gosh.
I never noticed that.
Holy smokes. It's like you don't play this game.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, well, I'm not used to playing it in such beautiful 1080p until
that's crazy.
The staff here helped me realize that I was playing in 480 this whole time.
Gosh, this is the HD remaster.
Oh. Yeah, it's an HD remaster of the Wii version.
Oh.
Yeah,
every animation in this game is cursed.
Yeah, yeah. We were joking during practice last night that we need to keep this game locked up in the safe to prevent getting like haunted or something.
You thought I was joking?
Yeah, I wasn't assuming you were joking.
Okay.
So we're kind of loading into the Act 2, which is kind of what we call mid-game. But right here, hopefully we don't get it. There's a small chance of a glitch occurring here called slow load, where the game will just take I think we got it. Of course. Yeah. Where the game will just take an extra 20 seconds to think super hard about what it wants to load in next, and there's nothing you can do about it. So that's unfortunate, but now we get to witness the best line in the game.
Oh my gosh. Still kills me.
Yeah, the best part is that they didn't have enough money to hire the actual voice actor of Mr. Krabs, so they just hired someone else.
It's miserable.
And it just makes the line 10 times
miserable.
better. But we're loading into Fry Cook here. We're going to get our last unlockable ability. We've been getting one each level. In Kilt Force, we got the Spin Slap. But now we got this Cannon Shot, and it's going to come into a lot of use in some of the later levels. Right now, we're just going to be using it for these mandatory puzzle sequences here. But there's a couple levels in this run where we're not going to have the buff power-up, and the Cannon Shot is going to be our best method of attack. It has a stupid high rate of fire, and it also has really little cooldown, so you can kind of spam it on single target enemies to just rip through them. But you won't see too much of that here because we're going to skip all of the fights in this level anyway. So right here, I'm just going to jump here early, okay? There's a spinner robot to the left over there who can reflect your shots back at you, and he'll get in the way of you finishing that puzzle.
Mm-hmm. And we just jumped over that fence to avoid the text prompt from popping up.
Yeah, that one's really important because this early section, you can't really save or lose that much time unless you hit that text box trigger. That's like one of the few things because all of the spinners that block your cannon shots move on a set cycle there. So not too much that you can do there. I also waited to hit the button on the bus here because for whatever reason, if you hit it early, the bus takes a ton of time to think about where its next destination is, and it'll just sit there for another 3 seconds. No idea why, but not a big deal. So coming on the end of the auto-scroller here, this is kind of the gauntlet for this level. 3 really tough tricks back-to-back. I'm going to jump to the pier early, and then I'm going to jump around the right side to skip a cutscene trigger. And then right here, we're going to skip a minute's worth of puzzle segment by using this coral to get on top of this propeller, which lets us boost off of this one over the invisible wall, and we got that first try.
Oh, wow. And you didn't have the animation either.
Yeah. So if you fall from too high, you can get a landing animation. So I specifically hit the bus there to avoid that. Saves about a second. Right here, second trick of the gauntlet, if you will. This is a trick called tub skip found by a player named Zoozer. It saves about 7 seconds. We're going to avoid using that tub right there. So this rock right here doesn't actually have collision. They just wrapped it in an invisible wall, but not all the way, so it just lets us boost up around the ledge there. Excellently designed level right here.
Yeah.
I knocked down the barrel. Okay, backup strat time. All right, so we're going to use the fence instead to get up here and do this part of the puzzle. We're doing this on purpose because it locks down these propellers in place. Otherwise, they would rise back up into the air. And we're going to use this one that's now locked down to get on top of this lamppost and boost over the invisible wall. All right, we got all of them. Let's go. That's a gauntlet.
Oh.
Woo! All right, so I'm going to snipe this guy to the left. Got him. And now we're going to use Squidward here. Squidward is utterly broken. Super duper overpowered. His cannon shots are so fast that the spinner robots that normally have the ability to reflect them sometimes just fail to outright because the rate of fire is so fast. So you'll be seeing a little bit more of your friend Squidward here in some of the later like Act 3 levels. Yeah, Act 3. I remember this game. Alright, so I'm trying to jump as soon as I can out of the quicksand. If you jump the first frame you can actually avoid getting stuck in the quicksand. I'm going to do a thing called a paddle boost right there. I spun on the left side, which is the way the paddle rotates, and it gives me a momentum boost if I do it like that. Small little skip right there. I accidentally blinked and missed it, but muscle memory, so we're good. And then we have to complete this puzzle to finish the level, but I'm going to try to bank shot it off the wrong side. That one's really hard and inconsistent. Yeah. But I usually get the second one. So let me just line up for this real quick. That was too early. That's fine. I jinxed myself. I deserved it. Not a big deal. Each of those saves like about 2.5 seconds.
Yeah. You run this game, you deserve everything you get.
Yeah. I actually have to be really careful there when I'm hitting the happiness object there. If I try to stand underneath where the happiness object spawns, it can actually cause you to get stuck. The chest instead will clip you inside the bus, and it'll soft lock you, and you have to exit the level. That would probably cause me to go over estimate, so play it safe. So this next set of levels are all really difficult. We're coming into Santa. And this is sort of where the run starts to differentiate from typical any %. This is the no LSG category. So we'll explain a little bit more about what that category means when we get to Murmulair. But basically, in any % in Santa, you can skip straight to the end by collecting one of the happiness objects from out of bounds and trigger the end of the level. But this category kind of bans those kinds of tricks. So Cube's going to explain what we're going to do instead.
Sure, we shoot this robot to make sure he doesn't shoot us when we are out of bounds. We do a cube jump. That's perfect. There's no collisions right here, so we're out of bounds at this point. Jax is relying on muscle memory to tell where to go because there's very little indication as to where Spongebob actually is. So we're going to continue to navigate out of the bounds. Developers obviously didn't intend this. Make a series of precise jumps. And we are at a different part of the level.
I'm going for it.
You're going? Oh, good luck.
So normally the marathon strat is to take unload and reload the door to climb up, but we're swagging out. Oh, we missed it. That's fine. I had to go for it once. Not a big deal. So a lot of the levels in this game wrap around on themselves because from a coding standpoint, the farther things get away from 0-0, the messier things get from a programming standpoint. So we're going to abuse that to skip about half of the level here, but we're going to need to navigate back out of bounds. I had to go for it. Yeah. I was ahead.
Fun fact, there is a random floating cube out of bounds right around there.
Yeah, it only renders at like certain angles too. It's really bizarre. All right, so there's like different triggers in this game that cause different portions of the level to load and unload. So I hit a very specific trigger right there to cause the door to load and unload, which clips me inside of it.
Yeah.
And we should be good. There we go.
There we go. Every jump you see Jax doing is relatively precise. There are collisions that extend.
And we got ISO stuff. So we do another death warp there to get us back in bounds. So we got through that. That pipe just doesn't matter, but there's a floor on it for some reason. So that allows us to basically skip the entire meaning of this puzzle. Oop, got stuck there. Another paddle boost right there, small little time saver. And then there's another part of a puzzle here, but this tunnel or this pipe also doesn't exist because this game is excellent.
Yeah.
So we just don't care.
All right, it's time for my pride and joy.
Yeah, we're coming up on the Tenderizer mini boss, but we're gonna do a really cool strat called Tendy Skip to basically skip the majority of the fight here. So Cube, why don't you go ahead?
All right, so pretty soon this boss is going to launch us up into the air, and the developers left in a kill trigger for the boss, so we just want to enter that kill trigger.
That looks good.
I think
there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
Just kills
First
the
try.
boss instantly. That impresses me every single time I see it. He
Yeah,
does
I
it
love that strat.
so consistently. It's crazy.
Yeah, Cube, we were at a Speedruns Rochester meeting one time, and Cube just randomly found that. Like, he's like, oh, the boss just died.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
I had to do it twice. I thought I was just miscounting.
Yeah. I was like, no way.
Yeah, at first we were getting up into the ceiling. And
Yeah, you can actually, there's like a ceiling fan, and you can get yourself launched up so high that you're just chilling on the ceiling fan.
Yeah.
So the reason this is we even have a no LSG category, it stands for no level skip glitch, is because in this level you can there's actually a trigger outside. We're gonna use the same amount of bounds, but you can basically use the same amount of bounce trick in this level like 5 or 6 times in a row, and it tricks the game into beating levels that are thinking you've beaten levels you haven't. And you skip like half the game doing that, but we're not about that in this category. So instead, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna use the same amount of bounds. So I'm gonna boost off the rock onto this frame. I almost missed that. I would have been really pissed if I missed that.
Yeah.
So we jumped over the trigger. Run would have been invalidated if I hit it, but don't worry about that. And now I'm gonna clip myself through this stalactite from. Oh, yeah, I gotta take a death. If you get stuck there, you have to die, which is unfortunate. But that's an early death, so I'm not too worried about that. That's probably one of the trickiest parts of getting this set up.
Yeah. As you'll see in a bit, this.
Yeah, this gets really hard.
Tremendous amount of the level.
Yeah, I think this. Yeah, I golded this split the first time I did a run with it, and I think it saved like 4 minutes off my PB.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so we have to like unload and reload the level there, and then I got a really precise jump right there. Gonna unload the wall to clip myself through a. Is it a stalactite or stalagmite? Okay, it doesn't matter.
It's the ceiling, so it's stalactite.
Yeah. Now we're on top of the second to last chamber of the level, and then we're gonna do another level unloading trick. It's gonna allow us to clip through the ceiling here. I'm just gonna shut it and do it. Nice, and we got the camera unstuck. That was really fast. And now we're using the pipes to get straight to the end of the level.
Editor's note, stalactites are on top.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, editor. All right, you want to explain optimal combat?
Yeah, so I'm doing a series of, if I can get the spinners down early enough while they're still in their landing animation, I'm going to do full cannon shots on them. Oh, that sucks. I'm going to chain a double here. Sorry. I'm in the zone. But the cannon shot's super fast here. If a robot's already spinning, I'm going to do hammer cannon shots and then spin as the last hit. Got a nice double there. All right, one more. Okay.
Either or.
There we go. That was a good fight. So, sorry, I was in the zone there. Don't let me into my zone.
That's cursed.
But you want to do hammer to get the spinners to not reflect the cannon shot. Then you throw in the cannon shot, and then if there's another robot close, you pull off a spin, so then you can chain the spin into another robot. And then you kind of repeat that sort of cycle to sort of chain. That fight's really tricky, though, because you have 2 different large jumbo-sized robot spawns there, so it can be a little tricky to handle, but that fight went pretty well.
Thanks, Gary. Very cool.
Yeah. So now we're coming into the boss of Act 2, which is Robo Squidward. This fight blows. I hate this fight.
Yeah.
It's a bit random, and it can cost you a lot of time because, like I said towards the beginning of the run during like Act 1, keeping your buff power up is really important, and the minions that Robo Squidward spawns do a really great job of completely messing up your game plan here. So I hold left during the cutscene here in order to turn Spongebob to the left. That it like executes like 1 frame of leftward input. I don't even know if leftward's a word, but we're gonna pretend like it is, so I sound smart. So we're going over to the left because it's the fastest way to the Gumwad, which is how we damage the boss.
Watch out for that one behind the crates. Thank you.
Oh, this game sucks.
Yeah.
All right. Wow, this game sucks.
Agree.
Are we alive? Yeah, we're dead. See what I mean? This game sucks. This is why we hate this fight. Yup.
Yeah, this is
That's the kind of stuff that happens with this fight, and there's nothing.
the hardest boss.
Yeah. Honestly, well.
Yeah.
Well, the final boss is a little tricky to optimize. This is just
true.
so much evil.
Yeah.
I hate this game.
Yeah. We have to
Okay, get wrecked,
leave
robot.
the gumball to be able to damage him.
Yeah, if you get damaged while you're in the gumball, it actually causes the hit to not register. Because the game doesn't want you to be in midair during a cutscene, or else you'll fall to your death mid-cutscene, which is appreciated. However, they should just register the hit.
Yeah.
That would be really great.
Yeah. Program your game.
So normally, like, this part is really tricky casually. Oh, and we got the good RNG. So he can do a taunt animation there. And sometimes he does it, sometimes he doesn't. We don't know what causes him to not do it. We would really like to know, but we don't. So we just pray.
Watch Jax carefully at this point.
Yeah, so I'm going to mash the spin, and it's going to rip through this guy. Oh, don't take my buff. Cool. So we get to ride the platform on the way back. The game doesn't give you movement back early enough the first time in order to... so I'm going to wait for him.
Yeah. Nice T-pose, Squidward.
Oh, nice. We got both cutscene skips.
That's perfect.
Totally planned. I'm so sick. Doesn't even matter because I took a death there anyway, so we're like another 30 seconds in the hole. But it's not a big deal. It's a marathon. Oh, we didn't lose buff, too, so we get to do an extra spin hop. Saving those frames.
You gotta. It's your imperative. Oh, you got pushed out of the way.
Being rude.
Yeah. My gosh. The main reason we skip cutscenes in this game is to avoid the lore.
Yeah.
Which we don't have time to explain.
Yeah. We like to joke that this game is a non-canon game to a non-canon episode. This was made for like the 15th anniversary special for Spongebob, which famously flopped. So a lot of people haven't heard of this game as a result. But super sick speed game. Probably a better speed game than it has any right to be, but it's pretty dope. So we're coming into rock bottom here. This is probably the most difficult level in the whole run. Act 3 in general is a really, really difficult act. Act 3 is filled with a bunch of smaller little skips and mostly spin hop movement. And about halfway into the level, we're going to get a buff power up, and we're going to try to keep it for the rest of the way, which is a lot harder than it sounds because this level is particularly devilish. So we're going to try our best here. I'm probably not going to go for the gumball skip because we're...
That's fair.
I went for Doorless in Santa, so I'm not allowed to go for this anymore.
Go.
I saw that. So I'm going to jump at the bottom of the slide right there in order to conserve some momentum. And then that rail acts like jellyfish jelly for no particular reason, so we have to be very careful there to get up here. And then I jump around the side with a wide arc in order to skip a cutscene trigger. That keeps a bunch of enemies from spawning in.
Yeah, that fight's annoying casually.
You saw
Terrible.
nothing.
I saw everything.
You
Saw
saw
everything.
Nothing. You saw nothing.
I am the Allfather.
Everywhere. Oh my gosh.
But we use that rail there that just lets us skip the puzzle entirely. You can skip that cutscene right there, but the door doesn't open, unfortunately. Yeah. So we're coming up into this section. This is This is kind of the acid temple. It's a ripoff of the water temple from Zelda with all this raising and lowering of the watering levels.
Yeah.
But it's only a single room. So here's our first buff power up. There is a backup coming up in a couple of chambers, but I'm going to try to keep it for good movement. And then we have to do this to open the way up. We haven't found a way to skip it yet.
Yeah.
And then we're going to skip some of the puzzle here. Ooh, that was really... He was just about to nail me there.
Yeah.
I'm jumping at this gun for a good reason, I promise. Please, game. Thank you.
There we go.
That jump is way more annoying than it looks. That just lets us skip raising the Nickelodeon slime right there. So I do a very specific set of movements there in order to avoid the screwball robots from shooting at me.
Nice timing.
Yeah, we got there on a good cycle, so...
Yeah.
The screwball enemies, they started appearing in Frycook, but we basically despawned or didn't see any of them. Oh, what's the spinner guy doing here? All right.
No clue.
Usually a screwball guy's there, but that's fine. All right, so this room is mostly just skipping gumballs here. All right, I'm gonna go for marathon swag here. We're gonna go on this stalactite. And then we're going to climb up this wall and over the fence. If we get there on bad cycles, we use that to skip having to open it. And you want to be careful there if you have the buff. But now we've hit the point of no return. We're going to try to keep the buff going. Robots are really not helping me out, but I got to take a tighter line, I guess. So.
Yeah, there you go. All right, this is a fairly long combat sequence, but...
Oh, my gosh. This game hates me.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Well.
Get to enjoy.
Yeah, it was good while it lasted.
Yeah. It's what makes rock bottom so difficult, honestly.
Yeah. So I don't get to show off all the cool movement, unfortunately. But to be fair, I probably would have lost it anyway. Give me that. Oh, okay, sure.
Nope, I don't.
Hey, pal, you want to get over here?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that fight is painfully slow without the buff power-up. I just got, unfortunately, nailed. My positioning was just slightly off, and it cost me there.
Do 1, 2, 3 spin.
3, 4, 5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
without
just taking
buff it.
Yeah. If you have the buff power-up, you can do that in only 3 spins, but...
Those collisions on the electric wires are...
Yeah, they're absolutely terrible, and it makes
horrible.
the movement here really cool and really exciting when you have the buff power-up. So, ideally, I would have lost it in sort of a more cool and interesting place, but we just kind of get to mosey on down to the next section. But it's not a big deal. We still got some cool stuff coming up.
There's a way to get out of bounds right coming up, but it is useless.
Yeah. All right. So this hallway is also normally really scary as well if you still have buff power up, but it doesn't really matter anymore, unfortunately. We call this the hallway of hell because this guy's a complete jerk.
Yeah. We did another animation cancel there.
Yeah. Not really as necessary there because you have to wait for the door, but still pretty cool. So there's a puzzle we're supposed to do here. I don't think I've ever done it casually because I just spin boosted over it. Yeah. That's a big thing with this game. I think when I first played this game casually, I got to like halfway through Act 2, and then I just said screw it, and I started learning speedrun strats, and then I skipped like half the game. It was honestly more fun that way. Which you think says a lot about the game, and I still think the game is fun. I just have to hope that... Oh my gosh, I suck. All right, not a big deal. It spawns us in right here. I just had to go fast.
Wait for the eel.
Yeah.
That's fair.
No.
Gosh.
All right, we're taking it safe because apparently I can't do... I'm used to setting that up with the buff power-up, so... Not a big deal. The game messes with the camera just freaks out if you do that anyway for whatever reason. It's like the most inconsequential thing, but the game just cannot handle little things like that. It's just unfortunate, but...
To be fair, we're breaking the sequence.
Yeah, should I go for the really hard strat? It's... screw it. We're going to be ahead of schedule.
Okay.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I can't do basic platforming, so we're going to do a backup strat here. Lure this guy over, and we're going to do another spin boost over this fence, and then just completely skip having to grab a bomb and blow up part of the puzzle.
I had no clue about that.
Yeah,
What
that's
is-
like that's the beginner slash if you suck and don't have buff power up, you do this strat.
Yeah, so pretty much me.
I wasn't going to say it.
Okay.
Oh gosh, my camera.
Nice.
Okay. If you're not careful there, you don't want to spin there because sometimes it'll just blow up in your face and I'll lose more time.
Yeah,
Because I don't have the buff power up here, I'm just going to spin into this guy, blow it up. There we go.
I'm safe. All those frames.
Big thing strats.
Oh,
Oh, you were stepping
bye.
on my... Yeah.
Sorry.
Please run my head off.
don't.
I would appreciate that.
I'll try not to.
So we're going to do the same trick again where we damage them during their falling animation. Oh, I don't have cannon shots. Okay. So we're just going to go straight into Squidward here. So if I position them in the right spot as they spawn in, they'll start like running. And yeah, so this fight's relatively simple.
That was a good Squidward.
Good start. Alright, that big guy is off in the middle of nowhere, so I'm just going to ignore him.
Sometimes
There's a guy spinning, but I have no idea where he is. Did you hear that?
I've seen that before.
Did he fall into the lava? And
Fell
just
into the lava and then die. That happens. This game. Everything's cursed. I'm
Yeah.
not used to it by this point.
I give up.
Okay.
Yeah, we got through the level, so unfortunately couldn't show off all the cool stuff. Normally I'm used to losing the buff power up either in that fight or during like the puzzle sequence before then, but not a big deal. It's a marathon. We're gonna be more than underestimate here.
Yeah, certainly.
But we're coming up on another really tricky level here. This is Karate Island. This level used to be like 10 minutes long until we found a skip that makes it about 6 minutes long.
Yeah. Jax unveiled this next skip in
The big stream, yeah.
the big stream.
TM.
Yeah. Pending.
Speaking of which, shameless plug, if you like Truth or Square and you like hype GDQ games list predictions, you should come check out the big stream. It's on Wednesday. It'll be great.
Is it? Oh my god.
Yeah, the list is dropping soon. I'm slightly terrified. We're trying super hard to get this game in this year.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the runners are actually gonna this is like
there.
the GDQ where like half of the community is actually gonna be at the event. So we really want this to be the year.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start by jumping to the left there because they didn't make the cutscene hitbox big enough.
Did we get it? Oh, we got one robot there.
I can manipulate around him.
Okay.
So you try to get robots to not spawn up here, but as long as there's only like one or two, you can swoosh around them.
Yeah.
And we're good to go here. I saw Proto smile at that.
Yeah.
Sorry, as a policy, I try to make fun of Scott whenever possible. But in this fight here, we're going to start by doing some rock climbing. I have no idea why any of this collision exists, but let's just get this buff power up before we start the fight here.
It works so well, it feels intended.
Take it a little slow here, and then we're going to see Squidward for the last time here. So ideally, if we do this fast enough, it'll actually speed bottleneck us. Just going to stand here. There we go. You can actually go too fast there, and you still have to wait for Squidward and the transformation animation. But still a good fight. All right.
All right, we're coming up on quiet time here.
Yeah. So we're going to jump on these jars and tikis in order just to avoid... Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, that was
Wow.
close. I could have gone back and gotten the buff power, which I probably would have done. That was really scary. You very rarely get that pattern, but that's fine. All right, so here comes the big old Karate Island skip. So we are out of bounds now. And we're going to backtrack right here into the sort of the last chamber where we just did a fight in. And I'm going to be doing spin hop movement here to sort of navigate back towards the beginning of the level. So I'm going to go into focus time here. Yeah, not a lot of room to stand on these ledges right here, so I'm just going to focus to get my positioning down pat. Nice. Okay, so that jump right there, not out of the woods, that lets us get on top of the tunnel. This is the the last big tunnel. Okay. So jumping up the outside of it, and we're back in bounds. That skips a huge auto scroller, and on top of that, just a huge portion of the level.
That
So
always cuts my heart.
yeah, that's such a scary skip. If you fall to your death and you have to start all over. But it's still fast to do, even if you get it second try. It still saves minutes if you get it second try. It's hilarious. So this is Demento. So the game has a trigger going into this fight that gets rid of any power-up that you have. So unfortunately, we have to 6-cycle this fight, and there's nothing we can do about it. So we're going to be chilling here. The basic strat is I'm going to be manipulating where Demento charges at me. So on his second attack, he lands in the middle of the back wall. So that way he takes the shortest amount of distance to the center, which is where his vulnerability attack comes into play. But this fight doesn't change really at all for 6 phases here, so we're just going to be chilling out here. So, Cube, how are you doing?
I am doing well. I meant to ask, how are you doing today, Jax?
I'm doing okay.
gosh.
Feeling a little funky.
Yeah, a little bit. Probably.
Overslept just a tad, so...
Yeah. No, same deal
Luckily,
here.
Twitch doesn't have smell-o-vision yet, so...
Oh my gosh.
I'm just joking. But, yeah, big chillin', big chillin'.
Yeah. Considering how this boss attacks, would you consider this a spin cycle?
Yeah, I hate you.
Yeah. I hate me too.
Understandable.
Yeah, have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Gosh. And you can reflect these orbs back at them, but
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
it does not.
We've been trying a lot of stuff to either skip this fight or to, like, glitch the buff power-up inside here. But we've come up empty so far. We know where the happiness object is for the level. It's somewhere out in space over in the direction of the back wall. But it's super far away, so there's no way we could get it. And even then, it would be banned in this category if that's the way we skip this fight.
Yeah.
So 2 more hits and we should be out of here. He's a very angry boy.
Yeah.
Very angry robot boy.
I don't programmed to hate, honestly.
My manips have been really good this
Yeah, no, this is
fight.
impressive.
So my voice cracks too.
You and me both. One more hit.
One more hit.
Should be coming
I'm
up.
on the edge of my seat.
We are. Man. And Sandy's just watching us.
Yeah. Sandy's in the Schadenfreude, so
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
just gonna do a little shindig over here while I wait for the game to stop thinking too hard.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
Wrong number, sister.
My gosh.
I'm sorry.
Jax,
I have to do something.
I hope you
okay?
know that the only reason I'm here is because I lost a bet.
Yeah, I know. I know.
You know. I mean, it's not like I don't remind you, but at the same time.
All right. Anyway, so if we were playing any percent, we'd probably be here. What, like another, about 20 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Because this game is really interesting. But now we're going into the final boss fight here. Turns out that Plankton was the bad guy all along. Who knew?
Hate to see it.
Yeah. Sorry for the spoilers, but so we're going into Roboplankton here. This fight is broken up into two kind of basic phases. We've got these rooftop phases and these core phases, and the core phases are kind of the main place where we're going to be optimizing and saving time. These rooftop phases are mostly auto-scrollery until we get to the 2 points where Roboplankton has to stop and either send enemies or start attacking us. So we're big chilling here for a little bit.
Yeah, just to let you know how important the lore is in this game. Usually, if you're playing co-op, then the second player takes control of Plankton. But since Plankton is controlling this robot, there is no co-op in this level.
Yeah, we were talking about how a 1-player 2-controller run would be super fast, and then we discovered that. Oh, what the heck was that spawn? That was really fast. I may
Yeah.
go back and look at this footage.
Yeah.
Maybe we're on IO World Record page.
Oh my gosh, we probably are. We're in gold.
But yeah, so our co-op dreams have kind of been dashed for the moment because this is probably the level where they'd be most useful. And it's just, you can't even use them here. It's so dumb.
Welcome to TOS, where
Yeah.
the developers hate you.
Yeah, basically. So we're going into the first core phase now. We're going to get a buff power up in here, and we're going to try to keep it until going into the third core phase.
There we go.
These core phases have a bunch of generators that we're supposed to destroy, and the buff power up is going to expedite that process significantly. So there's one in this crate right here.
There we
Gonna
go.
bonk off of him.
A little pesky. We're keeping some of these spin bots alive because they are able to attack the heart.
Yeah. What he said.
Yeah. Should not
Oh, he's gonna take my power up. That's
darn.
fine.
It's fine.
They can they can't damage you during a cutscene, but they can still take your buff power up. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
I was expecting to have that robot die. That's fine. We have full cannon shot ammo, so we should be okay for this next fight.
This game is so crisp in 1080p.
I know. I've been playing
I can
this
read
on
all the.
480p for
I
like
can
months.
read all the billboards.
I think that's how I was able to read the buses in RoboPath for the first
really?
time.
We're calling this the year of the sponge because of how much is
That was a good
getting
fight.
discovered.
That was a good backup. So luckily for us, there are backup power-ups in each successive core phase.
Good avoid. I
so-
usually hit that geyser because I'm
Yeah.
dumb.
Just something I want to shout out real quick is the communities for this game. If you're looking to get into speedrunning and you have no idea where to start, or you really don't have any specific game you're interested in playing, this is probably one of the most accessible games for speedrunning that I've ever come across. Q can probably tell you,
Yeah,
this was like his
certainly.
first or second speed game.
This is basically my first.
And he had never really played it before until I introduced him to the Cult of Truth or Square.
Yeah,
And
it's a cult.
Yeah.
Please keep that in mind.
Oh, absolutely. Viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah. They say it's not a cult because it's got emotes. But
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just
So-
focusing on the generators here a bit. But it's really easy for beginners, which makes it really fun and makes it feel like you're not just the
Yeah.
skips that you do.
Oh, and you
Like
preserved it.
yeah, I'm fine. There's a backup power up here anyway. Like the skips that you do as a beginner still feel like you're smashing the game in half. So it's really fun starting out, and then if you want to keep going with the game, there's a really good skill curve.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of meat on the bone left
Yeah.
in terms of improving at the game.
This game has a long history of speedrunning. Even
Yeah.
the developers tried to speed this game out the door.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that. But yeah, so if you're interested in picking up this speedrun, check out our leaderboards page. It's speedrun.com/SBTOS. You'll find a link to our Discord group there. All of the runners chill out there. And we also have links on that website to the basic any percent tutorial. That's not the LSG one, but there are some LSG glitch tutorials there as well. If you're looking at trying out this game, I recommend just standard any percent.
Yeah.
Really fun speed game. Everyone in the community is super duper nice, super duper accepting. All skill levels welcome. So, yeah, just had to show out that here real quick. Going into the last core phase, though, so we're going to be coming up on time real soon. We still have 3 more generators to break, but time is going to be called on the last hit, so like the last big puff of smoke that comes out of the robotic heart here. So I'm going to focus on my last little bit of movement here, so get ready on time.
Very soon.
Time.
There we go.
Underestimated.
Oh my!
Okay.
Beautiful.
That run was a little bit of a disaster, but we're fine.
But we're fine.
That's what I get for going for doorless. All right, so that was SpongeBob Strictly Square, any percent no LSG. I've been Jaxler. Thank you so much,
Thank
Q,
you.
for joining me
Thank you
on
for
commentary.
having me.
That was a lot of fun. So y'all are stuck with me for another 40 minutes. We're going to be taking a short commercial break to swap out some hardware here, and we're going to start up Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights
Second
with
half
this guy.
of
All right.
Jaxler.
Thank you for watching.